Freddy Frog and the Hungry Heron. Deep in the heart of Willow Pond lived a cheerful little frog named Freddy. Freddy was green, tiny, and full of unstoppable energy. Every morning, he hopped onto his favorite lily pad, stretched his legs, and croaked a cheerful song. Willow Pond was usually peaceful, buzzing dragonflies, rippling water, turtles sunbathing on logs, but Freddy had a problem. A big, feathery, hungry problem. Heron Harriet. Harriet the heron had long legs, a long neck, and an even longer appetite. She wasn't mean, just very determined to catch herself a frog snack. And Freddy, being the fastest frog in the pond, became her #1 target. Every day became a game of catch the frog, and Freddy always had to stay one hop ahead. The breakfast ambush. One sunny morning, Freddy sat on his lily pad and yawned. What a nice day. The sun is shiny, the water is warm. Shadow. A giant bird-shaped shadow slowly spread over Freddy's lily pad. Freddy's eyes widened. Oh! Harriet swooped down with her long beak aimed like a spear. Good morning, Freddy, she croaked. Lovely day for breakfast, isn't it? Freddy leapt just in time. Splash. Her beak hit the water where he had been sitting. Freddy popped up behind her. Morning, Harriet. You almost got me again. Harriet spun around, dripping. Stop hopping, little frog. Stay still. I'm hungry. Freddy hopped onto a floating stick, then another lily pad, then the edge of a log. Harriet chased him awkwardly, tripping over reeds and splashing loudly. Freddy reached a cluster of thick cattails and slipped inside like a green shadow. Harriet stabbed her beak into the tall grass and got it stuck. Blasted cattails, she groaned. Freddy peeked out, smiling. Better luck next time, Harriet. Round 1. Freddy wins. The bubbles trick. Later that afternoon, Freddy was catching dragonflies for fun. He jumped around the pond chasing a bright blue one. Suddenly, the water behind him rippled. Harriet. She was sneaking this time, moving slowly, quietly, like a tall feathered statue. Freddy didn't notice her until her shadow fell over him again. Surprise, Freddy, she said softly. Freddy squeaked and dove underwater. Harriet struck. Splash, but missed him by inches. Under the water, Freddy's brain worked fast. He swam below Harriet and blew a giant bubble right under her beak. Bloop. The bubble popped in Harriet's face, spraying water everywhere. Startled, she stumbled backward and fell straight into the pond with a huge splash. Freddy surfaced behind a lily pad, giggling. Harriet. You finally took a bath. Harriet spat out pond water. I hate bubbles. Round 2, Freddy wins again. The great log chase. The next morning, Freddy decided to relax on a long floating log. Nothing can bother me here. He was wrong. Harriet crept up from behind the reeds, her eyes locked onto Freddy like twin green lasers. She tiptoed onto the log. Step by step, feather by feather. When she was close enough, she whispered, Gotcha. Freddy spun around. Not today. He hopped to the end of the log. Harriet lunged, but her weight tipped the log to one side. Whoosh, splash. The log rolled, and Harriet rolled with it, tumbling into the water like a feathery wheel. Freddy hopped to the bank safely and clapped. 10 out of 10 for the acrobatic dive. Harriet grumbled and floated upside down, her legs sticking up like sticks. Round 3, Freddy wins. Harriet's clever plan. Harriet was done being embarrassed. These frog games are over, she muttered. Time to outsmart him. All afternoon she plotted, pacing across the shallow water. By evening, she had a plan. She placed a perfect row of lily pads across the pond, leading straight to the biggest, juiciest dragonfly Freddy had ever seen. Freddy hopped out of his hiding place. Ooh, shiny dragonfly. He bounced from pad to pad as Harriet watched from behind a rock. But Freddy was suspicious. Harriet never leaves snacks around, he whispered. He noticed the final lily pad looked strange. Too smooth. Too round. He flicked a pebble onto it. The lily pad sank immediately. It wasn't a real pad at all but Harriet's upside-down hat floating on the water. A trap. Freddy smirked. Two can play this game. He hopped loudly, pretending he didn't notice. Harriet held her breath, ready to pounce. Freddy reached the last pad, then suddenly leapt straight onto Harriet's hat. The hat flipped, splashing Harriet and spinning her around like a whirlpool. Freddy landed safely on a real pad behind her. "Nice hat trap, Harriet." Harriet groaned, soaking wet once again. Round 4, Freddy wins. The storm and the rescue that evening, the sky darkened. The wind howled. A heavy storm swept across the pond. Freddy hurried to his shelter under a big leaf, but the rain fell fast and furious. A huge gust of wind blew across the water and suddenly Freddy heard a cry. "Help!" It was Harriet. She was stuck between 2 branches, her wings tangled, being pushed toward deeper water by the rushing current. Freddy hesitated. Harriet had spent days trying to eat him, but she was scared. And she needed help. "I can't leave her," he whispered. Freddy jumped into the water and paddled through the storm. "I'm coming, Harriet." When he reached her, Harriet was flapping wildly. "Freddy, I can't get free. Stop moving. You'll make it worse," Freddy yelled. Harriet froze. Freddy used all his strength to push the branches apart. With a loud snap, Harriet broke free. But now she was sliding toward a whirlpool forming near the deeper side of the pond. "Grab my pad," Freddy croaked. Harriet reached out with her beak and grabbed onto the lily pad Freddy pushed toward her. Freddy anchored it to a thick root. The whirlpool slowly weakened, and Harriet climbed onto the bank, shaking. "You saved me," she whispered. Freddy nodded, exhausted. Friends help each other, even if they chase each other. Harriet blinked. "We're friends." Freddy smiled. "If you want to be." Harriet's feathers drooped gently. "I'd like that." The new pond rules. The next morning, the sun returned. Harriet stood beside Freddy on a log. "So, no more chasing?" Freddy asked. Harriet shook her head. "No more chasing. I'll find fish instead. Frogs are off the menu. And I'll help you with your fishing," Freddy croaked proudly. They started practicing right away, Freddy splashing to attract fish, Harriet scooping them up, and missing half, but she was trying. Soon, the whole pond knew about the new friendship. Freddy Frog and Harriet Heron, once enemies, now an unstoppable team. And every now and then, Harriet would tease, "You still hop too much." Freddy would grin back, "And you still fall in the water too much." They both laughed. And Willow Pond was more peaceful and funnier than ever before. The end.